Greetings, Grandfather here. Good life to you all. Now, there's been entirely too much scare news for 2012. I've spoken about this before, and I'm going to speak about it again. To a degree, it's understandable. Keep in mind that to the level of joy and fun you experience when you go to the movies and see something exciting. But also keep in mind that news services and other entertainment services understand that excitement is what sells these days. And you know this. Also keep in mind that living in a completely benevolent world, which might allow you to have contact with ETs, would certainly allow you to know about other worlds, and would give you the opportunity to go visit them, most likely. There are things like that. And while that will be exciting, there will not be any violence. I'm going to propose a question to you. Would you prefer to be living in a world that is violent and exciting? Or would you prefer to live in a world that is peaceful and has moments of low-key excitement? You'll have to ask yourself that question in the coming days, weeks, and months, because many people with the best of intentions are putting out information that suggests that something disastrous is going to happen, something catastrophic, the end of the world, and so on. I can assure you, at this time next year, the world that you know, albeit with a few things added, will still be here. And what do I mean by a few things added? One of the things that will be added is that there will be a deep desire, deep within you, for every individual, to live in a world that's safe for you personally, and also, and you all parents know this, don't you? Also safe for your children, safe for your grandchildren, or safe for your friends, for your allies, for your buddies, and so on, depending on who you are. Safe for your dog, safe for your cat. In short, this is something that's growing now in each and every one of you. And you may have to sacrifice a little bit of excitement. I'm not telling you, sounds like I am, that you have to give up your entertainments completely. But I would like to suggest to you that as long as people crave excitement with violence, as an entertainment even, okay? Not in your real life. There will be a tendency for life to imitate art in that sense. This is known a lot by younger people. Many of you have friends who pursued something for the sake of excitement, but it turned out to be much more violent than you thought it would be. But it's not just young people. Older people are on edge as well, and sometimes some of them are going off the edge and indulging in violence, which, after further reflection, prompts them to be violent with themselves. You understand what I'm talking about. So, I know it feels like I'm doing this. I'm really not trying to lecture you. I'm saying that your benevolent world that is forming for you now, and for which some of you have strong yearnings and, yes, attachment to, is going to be assisted if you consider that violence is not entertainment. Just consider it, because it can spread to life, can't it? Think back what movies were like. Sometimes it's funny, isn't it? You go back, you watch the movies from the 40s or the 50s, and there's a lot of stuff that seems very fluffy by today's standards. But in fact, as fluffy as it may have been, there were hard times. There were violent times. There were exciting times. But I feel that excitement for the sake of itself can often lead to violence that is not acceptable. Do you know that sometimes Mother Earth teaches that way? She usually has more than one reason to teach like that. She might teach by having a sudden, unexpected volcanic eruption, or a sudden earthquake, and I'm not talking about ones that kill and maim hundreds or even thousands. I'm talking about something unexpected that shakes you enough so that you call your friends and loved ones to see if they're all right. This is how Mother Earth teaches. There might be a tsunami predicted, but instead of a big one, it's just a few feet. But still, you call your friends, you call your relatives. Are you all right, you say? Keep in mind that Mother Earth will teach and say, would you rather it be more violent? Of course not. You wouldn't rather that. But would you rather it if you could just watch it on the news or watch it in movies as a drama? Be aware that your yearnings for excitement are totally connected, all right? Totally connected to creation. You are now apprentices in creation. You have to learn how to create quite a bit when you are a youngster. You have to tie your shoes at some point, yeah? Tie the laces. And when you first try, you fumble fingers, it's hard to do, eh? There's a lot more complicated things you have to do eventually. Learning things in school, learning a trade, learning how to drive, all right? Learning simple things too. Learning how to say words your first time to the delight of your parents or brothers and sisters. There is a great deal to be learned on this planet. But now that you are apprentices for creating, know that what you feel, much more than what you think, is something that might very well come into your life. Your physical body will now read, you might say, your feelings and attempt to deliver things associated with your feelings into your life. So, don't blame yourself for doing this. Know that you've been, how can we say, conditioned to a degree by your society that you're living in. Those of you who are living in societies like that. And also know that you can change. Many of you pray or go to church to have those calming moments, or temple, or whatever your religious institution is called, your mosque. In other words, to describe such a place. Many of you pray at home and also feel relaxed as a result. Some of you don't do this. And that's all right. It's up to you. But do attempt to practice at least 2 minutes every day, feeling calm, relaxed, and any other feeling you'd like to add, joyful, happy. You might have to think of something that reminds you of that, but it's important to do these things. This year isn't about the end of the world. It's about the felt beginning of the new world that you're going to be living on. It's going to come no matter what you do, but it can be greatly affected by a desire for violence as an entertainment, which can, as a result of your body hearing, you might say, or feeling, certainly, your happiness in that entertainment, can bring into your life, not just as something you do, but as something that is done to you. And I don't want that to happen for any of you. So, think about it. If you're addicted to entertainment violence, try to find something else you can do. All right? Something that substitutes for it a little bit. Otherwise, you're not only going to be surrounded by other people who are addicted to the same thing, but if you don't watch out, you could be subject to it. And I know you don't want that. This is all part of an unintentional training going on in many civilizations now that is leading to a feeling of self-destructiveness. Some of you who are very sensitive are already feeling depressed about this. And some of you who have depression and you can't help it are feeling worse about it. So, you can create. Try that thing I said for a couple of minutes every day. You can do it for longer if you want to. When you get good at it, feeling joyful, feeling relaxed, feeling happy, feeling amused, anything like that, that is benevolent, meaning good and kind for yourself and others. Then if you have other friends that can do it, get together and do it together. It will not only support you, it might help to bring about a world that is benevolent, that is good and kind for everyone and everything. I talk to you about these things not because I think you are foolish, not because I think you are ignorant, just the opposite. I know that you are creator apprentices, and thus I trust you to understand that what you do and what you feel are totally and completely connected, more now than ever. Some of you will not be able to help yourselves. You will be self-destructive. And keep in mind, my definition for self-destructive is hurting yourself or hurting others. Ultimately, when you hurt others, you do hurt yourself. It may not be obvious at first, but it always becomes obvious eventually. And I'm not talking about afterlife. I'm talking about during life. So, it's up to you. Do you want a benevolent world? One that is good and kind? Do you want that now? Or would you prefer violence to yourself or others? That's my challenge to you. Choose. Good life.